And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Hatcast, season 2, episode 2. Maybe. We'll see. Um, what is it? Was it for the iPhone 14 Plus? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I got the same ad, and it's for the iPhone 14 Plus because I knew exactly what you were talking about as soon as you said it. Yeah, I don't know anyone who does. Hmm. Because it's new. It's the new thing. Of course. Yeah. I try when I'm watching people who I want to support, I try not to, but it doesn't make that much of a difference for large streamers, so. Oh, no. Yeah, I know it takes away from them, but if they're large enough, I don't care. Like if I was like tuning into one of my friends' streams though, I would probably turn it off, but that's me. Um Yeah, we're not going to discuss the thing that happened earlier tonight. That didn't happen. It was not canon. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So I went into the hospital to have my gallbladder removed because if if you've forgotten or didn't listen to the first episode, my gallbladder for some reason hates me and started producing stones, which if they're large enough, the bile like hardens or something, and it if they're large enough, they can like get stuck while going through the organs, and they can cause a great deal of pain. And mine were to the point where I was literally doubled over crying. And the doctor was like, "Yeah, that's gotta come out, or your gallbladder could burst." Like literally, if you have any more, yeah, if you have any more of these attacks, your gallbladder could burst. Um, yeah, so they were pretty much like, we got to get this out ASAP. And so I ended up going into the hospital at like 4 in the morning. It was early. Um, like all night, like to get to 4 a.m. No, I slept until 4 a.m. I went to bed pretty early. Um, but I got there and I like signed in, and then I got to sit in a hospital room for a little bit and answer some questions. And then they were like, "Okay, we're gonna start injecting things into you to make it so that you can't feel pain for a while." I'm like, "Cool." And then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna start taking you to the surgery room." And then I was in the surgery room. I don't remember the trip to the surgery room. I remember being in it and them being like, "No, well, by that point it was like noon." My surgery wasn't scheduled till 9, but we had to get there early. But the surgeon had to postpone a little because her other surgery went a little long. Um, but we went so I remember being in the surgery room and they're like, "Hey, can you move to this bed for us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I'm like, "Okay." And then I hear them talking and then all of a sudden I wake up in a new room. Um and no, so I don't have you ever had anesthesia? It's so weird. Like I figured it would be like I'm asleep, but no, it's just instant. It's yeah, it's weird. 'Cause like yeah, it's not. It's right. I was so confused. But like so I woke up in the post-op room, which stands for post-operation for those that don't know. Um and oh, nice. So I woke up and they were like, "Oh wow, you woke up quick," because I guess they had like just started taking me off the anesthesia. Yes. I did not get to watch my surgery. Me neither. Um, but they were like, okay, so what's gonna happen is we need you to drink water, because what we've done is we've taken everything out of it. Because, okay, so keep in mind before the surgery, like the day before, I had to be on a liquid diet, and then after midnight, I couldn't have anything. So I hadn't had water in like 13 hours. And then they also like flushed my system. So there was just like nothing inside me. Um, but they're like, so we're gonna get you to drink water, and then once we can verify that you're up for good and not gonna go back down, we're gonna move you to your room. And yeah, so I waited for a bit, and then they moved me to a room. Right. And then here's the fun part. The nurse comes in, and they were like, so we couldn't verify that you still don't have stones inside of you. Because apparently when they went to put the catheter in to flush out my liver, they couldn't get it in, which means my liver might have been full of stone. Um, and so they, well, here's what they did. They were like, so we're gonna keep you here overnight. Nope, they're gonna keep me here overnight to see if my bilirubin levels go down, which is like would tell them if my liver is functioning normally now. Um, so yeah, so I had to stay there overnight. But okay, you know how you don't want your blood to clot? Well, painkillers apparently increase the risk of your blood clotting. And since I would be laying in bed, they didn't want the blood in my legs to clot. So they put vibrators on my legs that would vibrate every like 15 seconds. Yes, but it was I don't know. It was so loud and abrupt and like intermittent. I could not sleep. I did not sleep. Yes, it was awful. I hated it. And so I was just like awake all night and it was like on my phone and it sucked. And then they came back the next day and were like, "Yeah, your levels are exactly the same as yesterday. So we don't know what to do, so we're just gonna let you go home." Yeah. Yeah, they were like, "We're gonna check like in a month to see if anything changed." Yeah. Uh, but yeah, you can go home. And so I got out of the hospital. Oh, okay. So fun. This is like back before. While I was in the hospital, I so the surgery, the area they did it was like my stomach, and obviously, um, I like okay, there was four incisions. There's one like right below my right uh pectoral, and then there's another one lower down to the right of that, and then there's one lower down on my right side, and then there is one in my belly button. I do. Yes, that's how I was able to locate them because I do still have scars. But so when I got up to go to the bathroom, obviously I'm in one of those hospital gowns, so I had to like move the whole thing to use the restroom. And I I look down and my stomach is hairless, which it had not been prior to the surgery, and I was like, "Oh, I see." Right? I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is really interesting." Um and also they had to use like I guess for like sanitation, they or sterilize they had to sterilize it. No, they used I think it's like pig's blood to sterilize the area, which turned my stomach orange until I could wash it off. And they also, instead of stitches, they used glue, which when it dried, it turned purple and looked like welts. So I was orange and purple and hairless. Um, yeah, no, it's not what I expected either. So yeah, but then once I got out of the hospital, it sucked for me to do anything. Like moving, cause my body was so sore and like it was so painful. Oh my gosh. And like even like just sitting up or laying down. Like when I laid down, I would have to like inch my way down and like focused on breathing or else I would just stop breathing. Because sometimes when I'm in a lot of pain, I just forget to breathe. Yeah, I don't know why, um but yeah, and like yeah, okay, and then like they said like if you're doing something that would put like pressure on your core, like put a pillow up against your wounds, which okay, so you know how when you use the bathroom, right? It you have to like exert pressure for it to you you know what I mean, right? Right. So I had to like clutch a pillow while I was using the restroom so I didn't burst. Um, yes, I stayed home for a week and a half after my surgery, which wasn't enough time for me to fully recover, but that was the time that they allotted me, and I couldn't take any more time off. So, um, no. Um, oh yeah, and then also like after the surgery, like the week after, I had to be on a bland diet. So I was eating like oatmeal and soup and broth. Mm-hmm. No fish. No fish. Um, yeah, and that's the experience with the surgery. And it's actually been long enough that I've done the follow-up. So I went back and talked to my surgeon, and they did some blood tests, and they were like, "So your bilirubin levels are still exactly the same as they were after the surgery. So we think there might be something wrong with your liver. And so now we're gonna send you to a liver doctor eventually, and we're gonna see if there ain't something wrong with your liver, because apparently, my mom said I was born with jaundice, and there is a chance that I've just always had very mild jaundice. Because if you look at me, I'm okay. It's when your liver fails, pretty much, and you like turn yellow. And if you look at me, I'm like a kind of yellowish tint, so I think that's a very possible theory is that I've just been jaundiced forever. But yeah, so apparently now I have to have my liver looked at, which is cool. And that's about the extent of it. Why? Because you get images? Yeah. I'm kind of mad because they didn't let me look at my gallbladder. I wanted to see it. Yeah, I wanted to see the culprit. Yeah. No, they. I asked them before they and I was like, "Can I see it after the surgery?" And they were like, "No, we don't preserve them. We just kind of throw them away." Right? Yeah, that would have been cool. I could have had it on my desk and like shook it around. Yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't get to see it. But I now have one less organ than the average person. Wait, okay, yeah, go ahead. I insist. I was finished. Mm-hmm. 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 I I don't necessarily get that, but like when I have to have like needles inserted into me, I can't look at it or else I will literally die. And I like tense up my other arm just so I have something to. Yeah, no, because then it'll move the blood to the other arm, but I kind of just don't care. Like one time I think I told this story last time and you were grossed out by it, but one time they were doing blood tests on me and they didn't warn me, so I didn't have any water that day and it was early in the morning. Um, yeah, the blood was like congealed as it came out. And then they took it from the other arm that I had been tensing up and it was so smooth because all the blood was in that arm. It's not jello-y. It's funky. Mm, yeah. But so something that because my surgeon like kind of specialized in the gallbladder surgery. One thing that she said is that like gallbladder issues usually back in the day were just like more present in women, specifically pregnant women, but nowadays it's becoming more and more present in teens. Um, which might be because of like all the chemicals we're ingesting or something. She doesn't know. I don't know. But she said it could like there's a number of things that could cause it. It could be bad diet, it could be like it could be genetic, which my dad had his gallbladder out due to gallbladder issues, so I'm thinking it was probably genetic. But like the fact that it's becoming more common in teens is wild to me cuz like I don't know what would cause it to do that, and that's actually kind of like interesting to me. Yeah, my family runs cold. My temperature is like I think it's just above. I think I average at like I could be wrong. I think I average at like 97.1. What's the average human temperature? I'm gonna look that up. Uh it's normally 98.6. What temperature do you die at? Like minimum. Um oh, it is only giving me people, okay, so if you're in 111 degrees Fahrenheit, you will die, but I don't think that's true because it is always like 111 degrees Fahrenheit here. Right. And also we have water. Yeah, and we have fans. Speaking of hot days and not having water, this is a great segue into your story. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I want to say it was June because that's when I would have been at my father's. Hmm. Hmm. We thought it was a drive-through only. Hmm. Yeah. Only the drive-through. I don't remember what I got. I think you convinced me to get something because I hadn't eaten all day. Hmm. Yeah. Right. Mm. Yeah. Yes, it is on the freeway pretty much. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Because this was like right in the middle of the start of my gallbladder issues. So no, like I didn't even have a diagnosis yet. Yeah, I do. I have a few, I believe. Let me see if I can find them. You keep telling your story. Hmm. Yeah, we looked at a hat for me that had like flaps on the ears, but it looked stupid, so I didn't get it. And that's the only picture I have from there. Yep. Of course. 8 miles. Yes. 8 or 9. Of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it was 100 at least. Yes, I remember. Mm-hmm. I ended up walking through a bush that was it had like things that stick to your clothes, and so my shorts were just covered in like pokey bits, and that hurt. I don't stickers. I don't know. Um, I also would like to mention that I had like less than a fourth of a bottle of tea that I was walking with, and when I no, I got it from 7-Eleven before we got there. Um, but when I stopped to drink that, when we eventually got to our first roadside destination while we were walking, it was like it was hot. Like not even warm, it was hot. And it was not the kind of tea that you want hot. Yeah, it was like fruit flavored tea. Yeah, no, that was all that I had, and I was trying to conserve it. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's no Walmart nearby. Mhm. Yeah. And and yeah, and being the people we were, obviously, we took pictures with the shopping cart like it was some like fifth wonder of the world. Mhm. I am sad to say the shopping cart is no longer in that spot. I did go back and check recently. Mm-mm. Either someone noticed or because we did put it on its wheels at some point, it might have just blown away. Yeah, it probably did. Yeah, it was at this point that I drank the rest of my hot fruit tea, which left me with an empty bottle and nothing else to drink. Mm-mm. Yeah, no, we were in the sun. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was like, it's there, it's in sight. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Literally the whole time I was like, okay, I was like on my phone on Google Maps. I was like, okay, only 5 miles left. Only 4 miles left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because we got there at like 6 and the mall closed at 7. I think we got there later than 6, right? Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, well, that mall specifically, because we chose to go to one of the two malls, like in our town, and we just chose to go to the one that just so happened to be like going out of business actively. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's going bankrupt at this point. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, because well, that entrance was closed because they had the store that was in there was no longer paying for that spot, so that the store was no longer there, so we can go in. Yeah, we went in through a J.C. Penney, I think, because every mall has one, that or a Macy's, but we went in there and we were like, where is the like bathroom and water fountain? Okay. Yeah, we got there and like I chugged the water and the water in the water fountain tasted like metal. I don't know. Yeah. But I also went in the bathroom and like splashed water on my face because I was like visibly red and like, yeah. I also like redid my ponytail while I was there. Might as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, there were this mall specifically. I've been to the other mall recently. It was like flourishing. There's actual like stores everywhere. They're building new stores in that mall. We should. Who knows? We'll see. Mm-mm. Nope, they took the signs down. Yep. Please. I think I took a few. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna send this photo to you just so you can look at it. There's like two people in this photo. It's sending. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, we did. We sat down there, but we didn't get anything. No, I wanted to. I ended up. I couldn't find any with anything in them. All of the ones we found were empty. Yeah, and I wanted lemonade. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I don't think we went into any because there was nothing interesting. Mm-mm. Or like a hot topic we could go into and laugh at stuff. Uh, no, not at that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no, keep going. Mm-mm. Yep. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. I, because of my medical issues, had to use the restroom again. And so I was like, yeah, you can keep walking around if you want. I'm gonna go find a restroom and you'll probably be gone by the time I get back. So that's why we split up. Um, yeah, you can tell your perspective going forward first, and then I want to tell what happened to me. Yes, I do remember that. Filled with there were three kids in it. No, mine goes well, mine's not very long. So I went to the bathroom and then I was in there for a bit because obviously medical issues. But when I came out, the mall was like closed. It was like maybe 7:15, 7:20. I walk out of the bathroom, what do I see directly across from me but a vending machine containing lemonade. So I got no, I got lemonade from it. And then I texted my dad and was like, "Yo, could you come get me?" And he was like, "Yeah, from the Starbucks." And I was like, "No, from the mall." And he was like, "How did you get there?" And I'm like, "I'll tell you later. Come get me." But then like I ran into like it was either a janitor or a security guard. I don't remember which. But he was like, "The mall is closed. You need to leave." And so I walked out on like the opposite side from where we walked in, and I figured, okay, well if Shirky's still here, I could go find where she parked her bike and maybe wait for her to leave and like hang out with her before my dad gets here. And so I ended up walking around the perimeter of the mall. Keep in mind, still 100 degrees, and I had lemonade this time, but still hot. And like the mall is like dug into a mountain, so I had to like climb, or not a mountain, a hill. So I had to climb a hill and I went to where you parked your bike. You were gone by this point. And so I just kept walking, kept going around the perimeter. And I might have lapped the mall maybe 5 times before my dad got there. Yeah, yeah, I know. I sent you one because I took one while I was walking around the perimeter of the mall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, but my dad got there and I got in his truck and I turned the AC all the way up. And then I got back home, and he had like gotten me a Gatorade while I was out, and I took the Gatorade into my room and laid on my bed with the intention to like drink it and rest. I passed out in like with the Gatorade in my bed. I don't think so. Um, uh, yeah, I'll send him this podcast. It's okay. Um, but I passed out until like 9:30, 10. I like, and I had like a fever dream. I don't remember what it was, but it was fucking weird. Yeah, because it might have been. I don't remember, but I think I was so like hot and dehydrated and exhausted that I just passed out when I got home. And like I remember waking up and like not knowing where I was. I was just so disoriented. It was great. Yeah, I didn't drink any of the Gatorade when I got home. I laid down and immediately passed out. Uh, yeah, and then I woke up and I don't remember what because after that it was pretty normal. Uh, so yeah, that's the extent of my story. Yeah, near. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Is your Wi-Fi being bad right now? Because you sound like a robot. Sorry to interrupt. Um, well, she's deafened. Oh, yeah, yes. I don't, I don't think it's. Oh, it might be my internet. It's. Keep going. We'll deal with it. Oh, you sound better now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I think you might have sent me a text, but I was passed out at that point, so I didn't respond. Yeah, I was about to say, and you'll hear the part two to this story next year. Fun fact, that's not the first incident where we've walked somewhere in the summer heat. It's the one where we went from my house to Barnes and Noble, just on a whim. That was fine because it was only like a mile, and it was on the sidewalk. But no, so I was chilling in my house. I'm gonna tell this story by the way, if you're okay with that. I won't. I'm not gonna say anything that gives away locations. I was chilling in my house, right? And then Shirgi texts me and is like, "What are you doing?" or something, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, hanging out." And then you're like, "You want to do something or go somewhere or something?" I don't remember what you said, but like eventually we settled on going to Barnes and Noble, and I was like, "Yeah, but I still okay." So, bit of preface: I don't know how to ride a bike. It's important to this story because I was like, I still don't know how to ride a bike, and I'm also the only one at my house, so I can't exactly be driven right now. And she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll come over and teach you how to ride a bike right now." And I'm like, "Okay," because I think it's a joke. And like maybe 30 minutes later, 30 minutes to an hour later, she shows up at my house, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, great." And so we go around the back of my house to where my bike is, and she tries to teach me how to ride a bike. Spoiler alert, I still don't know how to ride a bike. Uh, yeah, I think I was like, yeah, we this is gonna take too long. Do you want to just like walk to Barnes and Noble? And you were like, sure, something like that. Um, it was before, 'cause okay, so we went out of my neighborhood. And since this is an area I know fairly well, I was like, we can just take this street here and get straight to Barnes and Noble. And you were like, cool. And so we walked down that street, uh, and nothing interesting really happened. Like there was no shopping cart. Sometimes there was no sidewalk, but yeah, it's a very drab area. Yeah, there's a storage unit across from my neighborhood. Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. There's that like oil rig near my neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah, it's like fenced off. You can't, they have tarps on the fence so you can't see it, but then also you can just like walk around the gate. Or no, there is no gate. I'm sorry, there's just an opening, which we found interesting. We didn't go in because obviously. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we ended up walking to Barnes and Noble, and this time we did actually have water, but also I have asthma and I had forgotten to bring my inhaler. So that was fun. And we got there. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. But we got there and I sat down in a chair and thought I was dying. I like had a heart attack or something. I don't know. Like my I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like I was so tired and sweaty and like my heart, I could feel my heart and I thought I was dying. And I think you were like in the restroom, so I was like, okay, she'll find my body. It's okay. But I got better, and I ended up getting a vinyl from Barnes and Noble, and then I got my mom. Oh, hmm? Yeah, well, like it took me like 30 minutes, but I was fine in the end. Or I don't think I was fine. I think I just pushed through it just so I didn't like drag you down. Oh yeah, probably. Um, but I did. Um, when we went to the mall though, I did bring my inhaler. I actually after that I brought my inhaler out at all times when we went out. Yeah, we should like have like a checklist. We each need like 3 bottles of water, um, fully charged cell phone. I need my inhaler. Mm-hmm. Yep. Just in case, you never know. That too. I'm gonna bring a hat this time. Actually, I think no, 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 no. I think the first one I did because I remember saying something about my hat being like covered in sweat. Yeah. But yeah. So she ended up leaving. I don't remember where you went after Barnes and Noble, but you probably. No, 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 no. You went to the bank, didn't you? I think that was either before or after. You went to the bank at some point. Um, but that's not relevant. Yeah, no. Would you like to tell us? No. But yeah, so I I got my mom to pick me up, and then we went to dinner. And while we were at dinner, she was like, "You can't do that again." And I was like, "Do what?" And she was like, "Walk 3 miles in the heat." And I was like, "Mom, I'm fine." And she was like, "You," and she like pseudo grounded me from walking 3 miles away from my house. Yeah, and then like a month later, I walked 9. Oh yeah, no, definitely. But also, no, but I mean, I would do it again. It was fun. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just because we're so attractive. They had to let us know. Like, okay, if someone gave me the opportunity to go back and like not do that, I would still do it. Like, right? I mean, I didn't get punished the second time. Punished by God, maybe. Yeah. No, yeah. And that's our walking stories. Thank you for joining us. Do you have more? Recently? Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, so we met up near that Barnes and Noble that I was just talking about, and there were 2 other people there who, 'cause Barnes and Noble is a good store, and also just the I usually get something. I usually either get Starbucks or like something from there. Like I got a vinyl when we went, and I got Starbucks the next time we went, and I this time was the only time I didn't get anything, but that's because Frenchie was talking about stealing a Bakugan. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We okay, so we met up. There were 2 other people there who are not relevant to the story. So they're really not relevant. and like they're not present in our channels, so I'm not gonna name them. But we got there, and there were four of us there, and we were all waiting on Squidmint, who was late, like an hour late, not an hour, like 30 minutes driving. They got stuck in traffic. Cause like oh, okay, well we went out at like the meetup time was noon. And so I got there, I had just missed like coming into Barnes and Noble, I hit the lunch rush like as I got to the parking lot. And so I can imagine Squidmint would have been stuck in the lunch rush for like many minutes. Um, but okay, so I initially got there. There was no parking. I had to park on like the edge of the like shopping district we were at. It was like, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Which I don't think he would have wanted to anyway. There was a lot of people. A lot. Five. But yeah. Um, but so Squidmint got there and then we went immediately to the Barnes and Noble and we browsed around there for a bit. I caught up with Squidmint and Frenchie went off to do stuff like browse. Uh, and Frenchie found a Bakugan, and it was right next to the back door of the Barnes and Nobles because this Barnes and Nobles has two doors, like one in the front, one in the back that you can go in and out of because it's a shopping area. And so he was like, it's right next to the door. I could just take it and run." And I was like, "Don't do that because we're with you, and then we'll get kicked out." He did end up buying the Bakugan. Uh, yeah. But then we found our way to the or manga section, and me and Squidmint discussed like why there's so many like borderline porn mangas. We didn't find out why, but there is certainly a lot. Um, hmm there was a manga series called Dick Fight Island, and that's all I have to say about that. Um, so we eventually left the Barnes and Noble, just because we got bored, and then we were like, well, we are kind of hungry, so let's get some food. And Frenchie was like, well, how much would it cost for us to go to uh, a restaurant around here? Keep in mind, it was like a fancy sit down restaurant, and I was like, we are, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm, yep, yep. There's restaurants, farmers market, yep, mm-hmm, yeah, he, yeah. But so while we were there, we ended up well, I was like, Frenchie, we're all broke. And then one of us who was there was like, I actually brought like $1,000 with me. And I was like, well, do you want to pay for everyone's meals? And he said no. So, exactly. I didn't bring up how much money I had because I didn't want to pay for everyone's meals. But we ended up walking out of Barnes and Noble, and we were walking around for a bit, and then Squidmint saw, or okay, so before Squidmint was there, we were sitting in an area that was like across from the Victoria's Secret, and I was like, "You guys want to go into Victoria's Secret with me?" And they were all like, "No," because they're a bunch of dweebs. And then so you needed that context because while we were walking towards that area again, I was like, "Squidmint, they said they don't want to go into Barn or Victoria's Secret with me," and then Squidmint was like, "What?" And so then they were like, "Yo, you should go in there. I'll go in with you." And I was like, "Okay." So we went in, and they took a picture of me next to a mannequin with underwear on, and it's a very good picture. I like it. Um, I was expecting there to be like people in there. I didn't see a single person in the Victoria's Secret. Right. On a work day, mind you. But so we walked out of there because that's all the time we spent in Victoria's Secret. And then we walked to Whole Foods. Yeah. No, 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 no. The dudes stayed outside. It was just me and Squidman in there. Mm-mm. No, they refused to come in. But so we walked to Whole Foods, and then Frenchie was like, "We could get a whole pizza for like $15, I think was the price." And then I was like, "Okay, well we will keep that in mind." And then we left Whole Foods because we were looking for like chips or drinks, but they only had like these bougie brands. They didn't have anything that we wanted. Um, yeah, it's rich. So we went outside, and then Frenchie was like, "We could just get the McDonald's dollar menu because there's a McDonald's nearby," and like everyone was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then someone saw Chili's and was like, "Why don't we go to Chili's?" And then Frenchie was like, "Well, Chili's does have a three for $10 deal where you can get like a drink, soup or salad, and an entree for $10." It is, and that's what we ended up doing. And we got there, and I, being like less than a month after my surgery, was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, okay, for some reason, my body does this every time I go out with friends. I have to use the restroom, and I don't know why. It's, I do. Squidman brought up a good point. They were like, maybe it's nerves, which is a fair point. Um, but so yeah, I use the restroom while we're waiting on our food, and I get back and my food's there, and they're all like, "Yo, he's back," and I I eat some of my food. I ate like half of my burger sandwich, and then I was like, "Frenchie, I'm gonna give you this 20 to pay for me just in case I gotta go to the bathroom again." And so and then I was like, "Box up my stuff and take it out with you if you guys leave before I get out." And so I get out of the restroom just as they left, and so I like run out of the store to catch up with them, and then we end up walking to Target, which is not it's not very far, but it's like across the street. Um, but yeah, well, yeah, but we went to Target, and then we looked around and didn't buy anything. And I didn't even get to look at what I wanted to look at while we were there, which I wasn't going to with the people that were there anyway. Well, because they wanted to leave, and I didn't want to like split up from them just yet. They wanted to see if they like had a certain board game, but they didn't. So, then we ended up going to Five Below. Um, and we were there for a bit, and I think Frenchie bought like canned boba tea. Yeah, and on our way out, he drank it, and then he forgot that it was boba. He thought it was just like tea. And so when he got to the boba, he was like, "Oh, there's sludge in here." And I was like, That's the boba." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know." Um, I don't know. But so at this point, it was like about time for Squidment to leave to get ready to go to work. So we like said our parting goodbyes, and I like, I was focused on like catching up with them because I don't talk to them a whole lot outside of meeting up, which I wish I did because they're cool, but what are you gonna do? Um, and then like some things happened that I'm not gonna discuss on stream because I don't wish to. You know what I'm talking about, but I don't wish to. Yeah, I don't want to call anyone out. Um, but so we ended up getting back, and um, I got in my car, and my mom was like, "Hey, can you pick me up some dinner on your way home?" And I'm like, "If you give me money to get myself dinner," and she was like, "Okay." So she ordered something from the shopping center I was in, so I waited outside for that, and I didn't know when it was ready because they didn't like text her or anything. So I waited like 15 minutes and then went in, and I was like, hey, I'm here to, because for some reason this restaurant didn't have like a server area at the front. It was just like sit yourself down somewhere and we'll be with you. But I was like, I'm just here to pick up food. So I went to like where someone, like where a server was chilling, and I was like, hey, so I need to pick up an order. And they were like, for my mom's name. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, they gave me a receipt and like gave me like a thing to pay. And I paid. And then on the receipt, there was a section. Okay, this is important that I want to bring up. On the receipt, there was a section for a tip for the server who just scanned my card. Like I delivered it to myself. I'm delivering it home. And although I usually would feel bad about it, I did not leave a tip because the server didn't really do anything in that scenario. So, yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah. Um, so then I got that and I started making my way home, and I don't remember what I got for dinner, but I definitely got some. But yeah, so we didn't really do much. We kind of just walked around to different shops. I, I do want to meet up with specifically Frenchie and Squidman again, and maybe you, and like actually do something instead of just aimlessly wandering. I know. We gotta find something. Yeah, we gotta make our own fun. We gotta walk somewhere. Walking 12 miles. Nice. Mm-hmm. It's been like 5 months. Yeah. Yeah, I remember them saying that they were working on a song with you, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I can't wait to hear it. I'm gonna have to wait. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. That's the extent of that trip, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also told myself I was gonna edit over spring break, and look how that turned out. I didn't. Well, okay, I started, and then I got bored. I started editing my New Year's stream, but then I realized that reason I had really the only reason I had like any fun was just because I was hanging out and goofing off with my friends, and I it didn't translate very well to video, especially in the earlier parts of the stream where I was actually playing the game. And it's also a 5 hour VOD, and I don't really want to edit that much, so I just didn't because I didn't want to. Funny thing about that, funny thing about that, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. That's fair. Mm-hmm. Nice. Did you? DM it to me if you wish, or don't. It's up to you. Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I put something on screen every 10 minutes until New Year's. It was so unintelligible. I loved it. I didn't even have my webcam on at that point. Yeah, I think I was just tired. It also was loud. But well, I don't know. Theoretically, like probably till 3 or 4. I don't know when I started the stream, but it went for 5 hours, and New Year's was at some point during that. I could probably go into the VOD and find out when we said Happy New Year's and see how long after that we went. I just can't be bothered. I removed all the elements from the screen, and kept playing. I think we actually stopped playing the game because it was kind of boring. Yeah. Um, yeah, and then I think we went and played Roblox or stuff. Right. But like, yeah, but like holidays are like the only time that we currently ever get to ourselves, kinda. Like as close as we can get. So that's like the only time, right? That's like the only time I ever actually play video games of my own volition is like weekends or holidays. Like spring Christmas break, I played a bunch of Binding of Isaac. Spring break, the sale started, so I bought a bunch of games and played those. And I was playing Roblox with my friends and stuff like that nearly every day. And then like this weekend, I've been playing a lot of Hollow Knight, and it's been great. And like I'm like, man, I feel so at home. No, I just feel so at home when I'm like on my like with myself hanging out with my friends. I don't know. I, I mean, also it could be the fact that they like a few of them do things that make me feel good about myself, but I'm not gonna get into that on stream. Oh my gosh, I just spilled water on myself. Is that it? We'll talk about what I like later. But like working for your own self, kinda. No, that's not what I meant. I meant like personal projects. Mm-hmm. Yes. I actually over one of the breaks, I don't remember which, but it might have just been a weekend. I actually sat down with some people and some people in my family that helped me with IRL stuff, and I actually like filmed one of the videos I've been wanting to make for like a good year maybe, which I can do it later tonight. I actually have all the footage on my PC right now. I imported it the other night. My mom, cause okay, so the SD card to USB thing I have, it only goes to USB-C, but my mom has a USB-C to USB that she uses to charge her Apple Watch. And so I kind of just nabbed that for a bit and I forgot to give it back. And she came in my room this morning and was like, Where's my converter?" And I was like, I pointed to my desk and it was like, "It's on there somewhere, find it." Because I was like, you gotta stop and remember, I was up till 5 a.m. the night before and I was so tired. No, yeah, I also have one now. It just doesn't go to USB. Mine can go to USB-C or the one that like Android phones use, but I don't need that. Uh, when I'm happy with it and upload it. Because currently I looked at some of the footage. I like what I did with the lighting, but one of the shots that I wanted to get, I ended up like not in the correct part of the frame. So I'll either need to completely reshoot that, which will be difficult because now I don't have facial hair, or I will need to like crop out part of my head or find a way to mask the background. I don't know. I'll deal with that eventually. But eh, I would need to like find a way to get everything perfect and maybe like get a tripod or no offense to my dad, he's great, but maybe get someone who's more like knows what to do with a camera. Because like he's great, right? Mm-hmm. Cause okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, probably. And that's probably what I'll end up doing, but I at least want to get like a demo of the project done, like to present as like a proof of concept to myself. But like I had my dad hold the camera, and obviously he's no like professional. He's never had his own YouTube channel. He's never filmed anything, but he did a pretty good job for someone that doesn't know what to do with a camera. Um, and I actually am too tall for the rig I have to hold the backdrop that I'm gonna mask out, and so I had to sit on a step stool. Luckily, you don't see my legs in the shot, but it was difficult because I had to hold my hands in my arms like I wasn't sitting down, which was difficult sometimes because you know when you're sitting down, you tend to like put your hands in your lap rather than at your side like you do when you're standing up. So, yeah, that was difficult. And I tend to talk with my hands, so I'll like you'll see that I'm like emoting with them and then putting them back in my lap, obviously sitting. But yeah, so I if I'm not happy with the result, I am not opposed to the idea of like maybe rewriting a few things, polishing here and there, memorizing my script this time, and refilming. I was up that late writing the script. So I didn't have any time to memorize it. I got up and I was like, what did I write? Probably, but I mean, I guess you'll see later tonight if you remember. Yep. Um, but yeah, so the go ahead. Yeah, I have something related to this. So my project is sort of like, okay, so In Space with Markiplier kind of like inspired me to want to write my own overarching story thing and actually like do something with it and make more cinematic content rather than just silly gaming videos. Cause like I'm not happy making gaming videos, like, cause it just doesn't bring me anything. And I want to make like more high effort videos, like my cooking show or like these cinematic things. And I want to like tell a story with these. I just don't have any plan at all. Shirgi can attest to this because she's seen my like plans for this project. It is like I have a plan for this video and that's about it. Yeah, that's all I had to like I just kind of want to do high effort cinematics is the reason behind this project. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead. Uh, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Minions. Yeah. Wouldn't minions also be in like whatever language they speak in Prague? Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Did you get Thai massage? Why? That seems to be their specialty. Burger. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Nice. So glad you two bonded on that trip. Mm-hmm. Yep, I guess not. uh we get that is why they call Europe the hat central of the world. I call it that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. What? What? Why did they think minions would be showing? Yeah. Me neither. Mm. Mm-hmm. Nope. Try. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Me every time I get veggie straws. No. Oh. Oh my gosh. As you are. My nuts. Oh my gosh, that's great. What about me? You know, I have not had any interesting tales revolving my nuts yet. Involving. Uh, Not that I want to get into on stream. I have a relationship tale, but I feel like it's too soon, and also, uh, that there are people who might relay information. Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah. Uh, yeah. No. I I kind of just coast, honestly. Kind of just make it through the day. Cuz Okay, I'm in my first period's geometry, which is comes fairly easy to me because I'm a math, like I understand math really well, but I hate math. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. I just have a good understanding of math, but I don't like it. Then is AP World History, which is fine. It's not overly hard. I just have to take notes, and I just have to take notes and understand them. I don't have to do great on the quizzes because the class is curved, so I do all right on them. But I've been yes, I hope I pass because this will be all be for naught. Yeah, I know. I'm really gonna actually the my first time studying for anything will be for the AP test. Um, hmm. Yeah. Then I have Spanish, which is probably my least favorite class, if I'm being honest. Because nothing against Spanish or my teacher. I have a great teacher in that class. She goes out of her way to make the class fun and like actually teach you things. But I am not interested in Spanish. I didn't want to take Spanish. I'm not particularly interested in the language because my mom said that's probably the only language that you'll actually probably use because yeah, it's just like second most used language in America. And that's the reason, right? Yeah. And like she used her example of she took French in high school and now doesn't remember French. But I'm currently taking Spanish and I don't know Spanish. Yeah, I wanted to take like actually when I decided to take Spanish, it was like or when I was picking my language classes, it was like when like back like last year when we were actively talking. So you were big on Latin, and I was learning Latin through like language apps at the time. And so I was like, well, I've already got kind of a head start, and Shirgi's taking Latin, so I could take Latin, and then if I need help, I could go to her. But and like that, I was going to take Latin, but you see how that went. I was either going to take Latin or comp sci. Right, and I'm probably going to take comp sci anyway, to be honest. Frenchie has talked about wanting to do like a an animation class next year, but I'm like, I can't draw very well. And I'm like, I'm hesitant, but because then I'll also have to move around my schedule, and I'm trying to take my computer maintenance class and theater next year, which, so the computer maintenance class has two classes. It's computer maintenance and then networking, but they have to go one after another. You can't split them up. So I have to take them both in the same semester, but then I also want to keep taking theater through high school. So I have to, and theater's my fourth period. So I have to take first and second comp sci or computer maintenance and networking, a core class, and then theater for a semester, and then three core classes in theater in another semester. I love it. It's like my favorite class. Um, the people and the work are just really good. Like I enjoy what I do. I'm usually the head of set, so I like design the set and actually like put in the effort to build it. Um, which is fun and it like gets me good experience for say a project. I like a personal YouTube project, I'd be able to build a set for it. And my work on this most recent show had my uh, tech theater teacher put me on aux lights for the show, which are the lights like on stage that are like off to the side. And so that got me a pretty good understanding of lighting and how that worked. And also just like the people, like my teacher is like a gem. She is so funny and like quirky, but like in a good way. And like she's so fun to be around and she like makes the class great. And then the people in the class are like so unique and like so fun to be around. Like I wouldn't say that I have like many real friends in school. Like the people I hang out with, I don't. really necessarily like my friends in middle school. I don't think are this. I don't see them the same way anymore. Like no, but like a few of them I'm still tight with, but like most of them I've kind of like fallen out of not love, but like fallen out of being wanting to be their friend. But like my tech theater people are like so like nice and like good to be around. I would consider them like real friends. So yeah. Um I don't know. I mm, kind of wish it was less long, but you know, it is what it is. Well, I think I've heard news of our district implementing a 4-day school week, but it goes on for a little longer. Like the school day goes on longer. Right. But my mom, I think this year received an email about it, like eh, getting parents to vote on what they would prefer. And my mom was like, "Do you want me to vote for a longer school day and like 4-day week?" And I was like, "Yes," because like studies that are done on like 4-day work weeks come back that like people take less sick days, people are generally happier, and like they do better at work because they don't work as much in a week. And like I don't know why we didn't implement this sooner because we shouldn't need to work 5 days a week every week. That's not how things should be. Capitalism is a sorry mess. Like okay, as much as I put on the character that like big capitalism, I want all the money. I kind of despise capitalism if I'm being honest. I can't stand like the concept itself. I know I sound like I'm like a big preaching whatever. And but that like I I'm sorry, but I genuinely I think there should be better like reason for people to work, not just to get barely enough money to scrape by. Sorry, that was kind of yeah, yeah. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. 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 Hmm. Oh, that's so cool. Mm. Mm. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. That's cool. Mm. Right. Nice. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. You get to listen to them. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was about to say, walk in on that. I just sure I'll get like matching cloaks or something to wear during that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. No. No, it isn't. That's wrong on so many levels. Is it stuff she specifically hears in the class? S- So, have you ever been on the board? Egypt isn't in Africa. It's next to India. There's no desert in Africa. Egypt is in Africa. The Sahara Desert is in Africa. Oh, shucks. Hmm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Right. But like I go ahead. I just people get so comfortable in classes like those. They get so comfortable in fact that they just don't do anything and then they end up failing one of the easiest classes on their schedule and it's always so funny to me. Mhm. Right, of course. Yeah. Oh. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Um mhm. Yeah. Nice. Gosh. Mhm. Uh I kind of sleep in most of my periods most days. Like geometry, I can finish my work faster than the teacher can assign it, so I sleep or I'm on my phone. Um, the teacher knows that I do the work faster than he does, and so that he doesn't get on to me for it. He's actually pretty cool. He's like, "Listen, I know that you're good at math and I know that you are like doing this faster than me. Just like if you see one of the people at your table struggling, try to help." And I'm like, "Okay." And so when he sees me on my phone when he's giving notes that I've already done or, I'm sleeping, he doesn't like go out of his way to make a point out of it. Um, World geography, I don't sleep as much. I try not to sleep in that class. Sometimes I do end up falling asleep, but the teacher will wake you up. Um, and then like during advisory, take that time to sleep. And then in Spanish, I will sleep because like if I fall asleep, like th- it's kind of hard. I realize it's pretty hard to like stay awake these days because I don't get enough sleep. I'll be like in a class, like falling asleep. Mm, yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I this is a bit far back, but I had a similar teacher for history back in like I think 7th grade. He was like he was so chill. Like the first day of class, he was like everything you need to know, like everything for the work is in your notes. If you just write down what I give you, you will pass this class. And even more so, like the work he gave was so easy because again, everything was just on the slides. Um, but he was like, if you finish your work, you can have what he called DAD time, which was don't annoy Donegan because his name was Mr. Donegan. Where pretty much you could just do whatever as long as it didn't annoy him once you were done with your work. Yeah, and then like if a kid fell asleep in his class, he would sneak up on them, and you know how like you have those desks that are like one person desks. He would grab their desk and like bring it up and slam it on the ground, which was really funny. Or he would like drop a textbook in front of them, like on the floor. It was great. He's got to be like one of my favorite, if not my favorite, history teacher that I've had. He was great. Hmm. Yeah. And paint. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Uh, Oh no. Oh. Yeah. 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 For funsies. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tall. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind of like not exactly upset, but like I wonder how things would be if I like went to the same school as y'all. 'Cause like I definitely prefer you guys over the people I go to school with now. But like would I still prefer you guys or would I like hate y'all's guts 'cause I have to spend every day with you? Right. These are the things I often think about. Yeah, me neither. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I think I've given the opportunity, yeah. Well, okay. It's a big like plan. You got to plan, you got to look into things like if they were going to like say if it was you, if I don't know what you're planning to go to college for if you're planning to go to college, but like to say you went somewhere that didn't have a very good computer science program, I probably or computer maintenance, I probably wouldn't go to your university just cuz I'm not going to sacrifice what I want to do with my life just to hang out with my friends. Right. Mhm. Like big benefit having someone there that you already know. Especially cuz like I don't know how college roommates work cuz I've never had to do that, but I'm guessing like if I know someone I could probably like I don't know. I don't know how it works, but it'd be useful not having to live with someone I don't know. I'd rather live with a friend and risk losing that friend than live with someone I don't know and hate them. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Right, but yeah, I do think I'd rather like live with someone who I know and can like actively talk to than like a shadow that I don't see most of the time. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But also like with the housing market these days, that's kind of like the only option at this point if you want to live on like not live with your parents, you gotta find someone to live with at this point. Unless you're like making absurd amounts of money on the side, which you're not. So, yeah. I've this is also another thing I think about a lot is like what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna interact with my friends after high school. It's exactly. I don't know. I yeah, go ahead. Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And also like I have like okay, I'm gonna sound stupid, but I'm like really afraid of bugs. So like what if there's a bug in my room? What am I gonna do then? The bug can have the room at that point. Like there was a like a mosquito in my room the other night and I had to get my little brother to kill it because I was scared. Yeah. Kind of a little baby in that way, but it's who I am. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot. Yeah, I've heard a lot that people would rather like live with one or two people than like a whole bunch of people, which is fair because like I imagine right, I imagine a lot of people grow up living with, at least four people in their household most times is the norm, but like whatever. But like I can imagine that they would either get tired of that or just want something a little more peaceful. Mm, right. And like I don't even know how like for as much as I think about it, I don't know how like what I would even like obviously whoever I live with I'd need to set boundaries with, but like I don't even know like what everything would be because like, there's so many factors that go into living with someone. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, okay. Thing about it, I think we're both like pretty nocturnal and like we both get kind of loud when it comes to things. So I don't think that would be that much of a disturbance because we both stream slash make videos. We both not that I'm trying to advocate for you to live with me, but like it's I don't think it'd be that like you got to find someone that you're compatible with roommate wise. You can't just like you said, you could be a disturbance to a normal person. I don't think I could live with someone who's like a major germaphobe because my room can get pretty messy and I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. Right, true, but like then they would also hate my guts because my room's not like overly messy. I just have like some clothes lying around and like my I have a trash can in my room, which I know some people are like majorly against for some reason. I mean, it attracts bugs, but it doesn't. Yeah, I have like food trash in my room, but that's. Yeah, I don't have I live on the second floor, so ants can't really get up here, which is why I'm comfortable doing it. I wouldn't eat like in a room if I lived downstairs or like if I knew it would attract ants. Yeah. And then like also like there's the like dishes, like I don't know if I would like buy separate like silverware for myself or something, but like I don't know. Oh yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Like I I worked at a restaurant. I have to be fine with that. But Especially if it was like one of my friends, like I wouldn't mind doing their like okay, if we like if I wasn't the only like if we traded every week who does the dishes, that would be fine. But if I was the only one doing dishes, that would be another story. Which is completely fair. I actually prefer that a little, but I don't prefer plastic silverware. I like actual silverware, but like I'm fine with paper plates because it's not really a downside. Yeah, they're very large actually. hmm Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I'd I don't know. I kind of want to live somewhere that's a little colder than here. I'd like to live either like maybe in I guess like a normal neighborhood would be fine. Like I guess suburban. I don't know. I don't think I could live in like an overly crowded apartment unless I really needed to. Like yeah, but like I also don't think I could live in like the countryside where it's like one house every mile or so. Not like mile, but you know what I mean. Yeah, you're right. Like I mean, like I'd like to go somewhere colder, but like still, have my main thing also is that like there has to be things around that I can actually go out and do. 'Cause like as much as I like might as much as a shut-in as I might be, I can't just stay inside all the time. I have to actually go out and do stuff or else I will die. All right, go ahead. While she's doing that, I guess I could talk about something. I don't really, I realize I don't really, not much goes on because one, I'm kind of a shut-in. I don't really go outside the house unless I need to or want to. Two, I don't really like do anything with my friends all that much because most of my friends are states away or are also shut-ins. But the only interesting stories I ever get are when I'm out with friends, or really specifically out with Shirgi, funnily enough. Uh, she she's like the most interesting person to hang out with of my friend group by far, like IRL wise. And it's a shame we don't go out more, but there are reasons. I don't know what my point is. My point is I don't really have any interesting stories to tell because me and Shirky haven't done anything in a while. And I'm sure if we did, she would probably already have told the story, and honestly, so would I. So like I can tell a story once and then never again on like a platform. Because like you tell a story so many times you get bored of it. I don't know why I'm saying like I'm waiting for a response. I'm not. You're not obligated to respond. All I need you to do is listen. But why am I tearing up? Um yeah. And like most of my friends I don't think I would mind living with. Like I think definitely Frenchie could be a good roommate for me. uh Axo could probably be a decent roommate. Shirgi is probably a pretty good roommate for me because, like I said, both nocturnal. We can both get pretty loud, but also we're both alike in a lot of ways that I don't think most people like share that much alikeness. Like we are kind of like we're very similar people, so I think that would be fine. Like sort of. Frenchie, I think I could get tired of, but that's to be expected. Axo is a bit of a bag of worms. I don't know what would happen, but it'd be pretty funny. Um, but like he's chill. But I think that like out of most of them, I'm most similar to Shirgi, so I think that would work the best because like like okay, similarities. Both nocturnal. We both like we both kind of like the same things. We both make content. We're both up at late hours, being kind of loud. Um, I think we both. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what she prefers to eat. Like I don't know. She probably prefers like sit down food over takeout if I had to guess. She just seems like the type. I could go either way really. I love a good home cooked meal, but also like sometimes fast food just hits different, you know? Um but like I think we definitely share more similarities than most people I've met. But also she probably wouldn't be comfortable living with me, and I don't blame her for that. Uh I don't know why I'm dumping this all on you. I'm so sorry. Um I'm gonna drink. I am. I was about to just say I'm gonna drink water because I'm getting cotton mouth. Yeah, pretty much. While you were gone, I was kind of just running like who all I could really like all in reality room like be housemates with, and like pros and cons of each general option. Yeah. Well, okay, I think I could like as much as I love him, I think I could get tired of Frenchie pretty quickly because he's just like he's a lot sometimes. And that was something I said. But also that's nothing that can't be dealt with because I will have my own space, preferably. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think living in a city could be like a interesting experience at least. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Um, sorry, this is a side tangent. Do you prefer hot or cold weather? Just in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You may continue. Sorry. Yeah, no. There's I couldn't even fill that much space if I wanted to. What would I do with it? Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, it definitely is. Mm-hmm. Oh, there might be, but also it would be difficult to get furniture up the stairs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Well, sorry, this is kind of related, but definitely something I've like tried kind of and like really liked is having my like computer stuff not in my room. Like I like having it in a separate room and having to walk back and forth. 'Cause like if I mhm, it's a big ask in these days. But like I like for a while in like 2020, my computer was downstairs in the office, which I really liked because I had to like get up and actually walk, and like there was a different room, and my room was just specifically for me. But also it got old real fast because I couldn't be as loud as I wanted because we there's no door on the office. It's just an archway, and the living room is like right there. So yeah, but it'd definitely be preferred. But who am I to ask for things these days, right? Need the prime Shirgi reactions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 No, I know what you mean. That does sound pretty cool, but like, these days, unless you're Markiplier, you can't really afford that. We love Markiplier. Right, right. Hinging on the fact that we are able to have like finance uh living space. Right, exactly. And honestly, that's probably why you see a lot of like people like especially like the newer generations that still live with their parents, and like that's not as much of a shamed thing as it was back in earlier generations because that's kind of really the thing that like the only option you have right now, which is kind of sad, but mhm. Yeah. Computer maintenance stuff. I don't I used to know the like official term of the degree, but I forgot it. I think it's computer science and maintenance actually. If it, in a perfect world, MIT, but that ain't gonna happen. So yeah, that ain't happening. So probably just like waiting for like offers if I get any, and if not, researching like what I can afford with the scholarships I can get. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. But like, I'd probably wait for offers and see which one has the best computer maintenance program and probably go there. Unless like my second or third place is where one of my friends are going, then that's what I'd probably choose because it still would have a pretty good program and I can go there and also have a friend there, you know? Yeah. Yeah, it is like you don't need a college education. In fact, I'm taking a class next year, hopefully, that will probably teach me everything I need to know. So I don't really need to go to college. So I might just kind of end up living with one of my friends who's in college, maybe, hopefully. Like just living with them and not being in college. Well, like, okay, it depends on if they live on or off campus, really. Going to school for a nothing degree so I can live with my friends. Honestly, might get a theater degree at that point. I would. I mean, if it was given to me, yeah. Like if the school was like, we will pay your way for if you get a theater scholarship, I'd be like, okay. Oh yeah, no, it's not happening, but like that's not what I would get my major in if I had the choice. Again, computer maintenance is like, because when I was building my computer and like messing around with it, I found out like I have a knack for it and I'm passionate about it. So why not? You know? Oh yeah, no, definitely. But then when you figure out the problem and it works, God, I love it. Like, mm-hmm. Like when I first built my computer, it didn't work, and then I was messing around with it, and I figured out one of the RAM sticks wasn't fully in, so it just wasn't booting. Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my God, I felt so dumb. I also just kind of love like tamper like when my uncle said he was throwing away his old computer, I like went out of my way to go get it from the trash and bring it into my room and dismantle it for parts. I got his old graphics card and I took out his old RAM and kept that. His CPU was worse than mine and I couldn't salvage the power supply. No, because it's DDR2. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, but it's cool to I might like decorate my room with it or something. I don't know. String them on my ceiling like a maniac, like a bird nest. Um, the graphics card is technically a little better than mine, I think, but it also can't run VR, so I choose not to use it. Right. I mean, I don't actually know what kind of GPU it is because it doesn't say, like, I know the brand, but it doesn't say, like, the model because why would it? And I don't have the box for it, so unknown GPU, three fans. I mean, it also has leaves in it, and I have taken some of the screws out of it and not put them back in. I was, No, it does work because it was just the shell, but I was trying to get the stuff out of the fans because you gotta stop and think. This computer was sitting in the garage for like 2 years before he decided to throw it away. So it was like cobwebs and a little bit of leaf. I got most of the leaves out, but I was trying to get the shell off, but it wouldn't come off because the fans were connected to it. It was a whole ordeal. I didn't end up getting it off. And I didn't, and that feels like a bit of a fire hazard, and so that's another reason I don't use it. No, no, I don't even have a real screwdriver. I have an electronic screwdriver that I don't know how to charge, and that's what I use. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Never put it back. Yeah. Yeah, I always have a pocket knife on my desk because, opening things. Hmm. I actually, we had a knife that had spray foam caught in it in tech theater that I took home and got the spray foam out, and now it works, but I'm not giving it back because it's cool. It like flips open. It's like a flip open box cutter. It's really cool. It is, but it's fun. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Right, but also you don't want to. Exactly. Forever. That's kind of like last year. The Avid teacher was like desperately trying to get me to join Avid, and like all of my friends were like, "We don't like Avid. Don't join. It's not fun." And I was like, "Okay." And then, but like she still like would like pester me about it, and I was like, "I'll think about it," and then never thought about it. Yeah, and then I never do. Well, 3 hours to be exact. This is longer than the last episode. What do you mean? We can. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. Tune in next week where we will probably be doing the exact same thing. Bye bye. Maybe.